the other side of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. I read a piece today in the New Yorker magazine, and I thought about it for a while. I decided to do a video sort of explaining the flip side, why it's bad that Johnny Depp won. Although initially I think I was on his side, still I think it's a huge loss for women, victims of domestic violence, in many ways, right? It was a win for men, and I did a video about how men are now, because of this trial, in the news, and it's becoming more acceptable to see men as also able to be victims of domestic violence. And we deal with men in our immigration practice. We do a lot of VAWA cases for men, not just women, right? But today I want to discuss the Johnny Depp verdict as it will relate to women, and how in many ways the spectacle, which I really hated that it was so public, right? As an attorney and as somebody who watches both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard as actors, I really didn't like it. But at the end, I think there was a bad effect for women. The bad effect for women is that the next time a victim of domestic violence, a woman, speaks out, she might not be believed, and people tend to associate these like very public things with regular everyday things. So the next time a regular woman somewhere in, I don't know, the state of Tennessee gets beaten by her husband, then she will begin to be questioned and compared, whether it's conscious or subconscious or unconscious, whatever, right? Compared to Amber Heard, and people now have kind of a measuring stick of somebody who supposedly lied about being abused and didn't get away with it. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that Amber Heard had many witnesses who said they saw her bruises, they saw the lacerations on her body, she had pictures of the abuse, she still lost. And remember, this was a defamation trial. It wasn't about the abuse, but at the end, it became a trial about a woman being abused in a domestic, in a marriage situation, and she lost. And with her, a lot of women who are real victims of domestic violence lost as well. Because now it's become more acceptable to kind of laugh at somebody when they complain about being abused. If you took pictures of your abuse, then you are crazy. If you didn't take pictures of your abuse, you're stupid. You should have taken pictures to have evidence for court, right? If you complain about it, again, you're crazy, and why can't you get over it and just leave him, right? Leave the mofo, people will say. If you don't complain about it, you're stupid. Why do you keep quiet? Why don't you complain? And, all these things that people go through when they hear about somebody being abused, and they sometimes feel like they're in denial about it. They don't want to believe that this man, this nice guy, like a Johnny Depp type, who's so lovable and nice, everybody likes him, could be privately a dictator and an abuser and a kind of a Hitler against his wife and kids and privacy, right? These are all the issues that I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about the Amber Heard trial. She had a lot of evidence. This is another chilling thing, another thing that makes me a little uncomfortable. She had a lot of evidence, and she still lost. She had a lot of evidence that there's text messages, there's people who witnessed her bruises, and she still lost in the court of law. I also think the fact that it was public and it was on cameras, it was on TV, made her lose and contributed to this whole thing being really bad for women. Again, this doesn't make women victims of domestic violence better off in the long run. I think it does not, right? She gave a lot of testimony. She spoke in detail about the abuse that she suffered. Of course, she wasn't a good witness in court. She wasn't a good in testimony. And she seemed like she was acting a lot.
What do you hope to reclaim after this is over?
But despite of that, some stories that she told seemed truthful, and she still lost. And that's bad. That's bad for women who are going to come forward, and some women, and I work with people who go to court and testify with our help all the time, and some people are good witnesses, and some people are bad witnesses. Some people cannot tell their story. Some people look like liars when I know they're telling the truth. Some people get nervous and they cannot say anything in court. The fact that she went through this in such a public forum, and despite the evidence and the documents and the pictures, everything that she had, she still lost. What does that say for other women who don't have the kind of money and the lawyers that she did, or the resources that she did? Right? It's really bad. I think there's a bad side to this, and I felt like when people complain of being abused, women complain of being abused, the society sometimes tends to treat them as hysterical and crazy. So in many ways, there's good sides and bad sides to this. I hope this video explains my point of view, to kind of talk about a little bit of a different perspective here in defense of Amber, and showing how what happened to Amber Heard was a backlash to the Me Too movement, if you will follow me here. The Me Too movement that got a lot of stars to lose their status, like Harvey Weinstein, who went to jail, like Bill Cosby, a beloved American comedian who had to go through a criminal trial and was found guilty initially of drugging women and sleeping with them when they were unconscious. And it was proven in the court of law. Of, Brian Gumbel and a bunch of other people who lost their jobs and lost their status as respected, loved celebrities because they took advantage of their situation, abused women, sexually molested women, raped women, and so on and so forth. Right? The fact that in these situations, the woman always has to document what happened to her. And then, like here, even when she documents it, she still loses sometimes. And the fact that this came out as almost like a pushback against that Me Too movement that put all of those stars out of commission. And maybe some people are unhappy with that and don't believe the truth of what happened, because it's hard to overcome decades of loving somebody in the public eye and then to find out they're a real human being who's raping women and doing horrible things, right? It's hard to put that in your mind. So I hope this video helps, and I thank you for watching, and I thank you for following along with me here with my analysis of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard situation. Give us a call if you have an immigration problem, if you want to legalize. Our specialty is the hardest cases for people who've been in the United States for years and still haven't been able to do anything and get a green card. And if you're in New York or New Jersey, we can help with your divorce. We can help get you out of your abusive situation, get you alimony, child support, and on the path to a new life. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.